The government of Ghana will be spending a little over 300 million cedis on the double-track academic calendar for senior high schools in the country in the upcoming academic year. The amount represents salaries for the 8,000 new teachers who will be recruited and the 50 cedis per head towards academic intervention fees for the students. Maxwell Agbagba was at a news conference to clarify issues about the new academic calendar and now reports.
Education Minister Matthew Opoku-Prempeh explained how the 300 million cedis will be spent.
By our calculation, we said we need 8,872 teachers. These teachers will be gainfully employed, not short-term. The cost is 267 million. It is one of the two interventions that government is going to do because of adoption of the semester system. Next slide. The other intervention is that government is going to provide per head 50 cedis to every student as academic intervention, where the teachers, if they want to have to organize extra lessons in maths and English, they will not charge the students. If we add the teaching cost per year and the academic intervention per year, government has to find the money, nearly 300 or 400 million, to cater for that.
He said a number of private schools for the first time will be admitting some students under the free SHS program.
So we work with private schools that we have to absorb. This is not the first time we are absorbing private schools. It has since independence. And private schools that meet the criteria would absorb them, make sure the teachers are qualified, make sure that the environment is safe and secure for teaching and learning.
On suggestions that government allow parents who can afford to pay the fees of their children, Matthew Opoku-Prempeh said it is early days yet.
The argument that the rich people want to pay, allow them to pay, it is true. But I don't know which rich person, since we started the free SHS, has gone to the school and said, my child's school fees was supposed to be 1,000, even though government is doing it for free, get this 1,000 cedis and use it for the general welfare of the school. So far, none. It is not up to me to decide who is rich and who is poor. My main aim is to make sure that no matter the child, that child should not suffer anything that would be a stumbling block. We operated nothing feeding grants in this country for nearly 60 years. And we didn't say if you are rich, your child should not get nothing feeding grants, or if you are poor, your child should not. We did progressive free education in this country for 2 years. We did not discriminate the rich and poor. This is not the time. When every Ghanaian child is in school, we can have the luxury of deciding who is rich and who is poor and using the discriminatory measures perfectly.
Some pundits have suggested that government is using the double-track system to defer the repercussions of a free senior high school that does not target the poor, because in a few years, the 2018-2019 cohort will be moving to the tertiary institution. President Akufo-Addo, at the investiture of the new Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ghana, urged the authorities there to create space for the double-track cohort. Deputy Education Minister Yao Educhum said government is putting all the mechanisms in place.
We are an innovative party, innovative government, innovative ministry. So when challenges come, we use innovation to solve them. So yes, increase in numbers is going to come. That is why we're also doing construction differently. We are securitization, get fund revenue, so that our $1.5 million coming, a large amount of it is going to build university infrastructure, ensure that there's more space for the incoming large numbers of free senior high school students.
Hello, good evening to you. Welcome to Business. The Bank of Ghana is seeking some clarity on the proposed merger between GN, Sahel Sahara and Premium Banks for possible approval. The three banks last month formally tabled the request to the regulator to aid their marriage, but the Bank of Ghana is seeking some more answers to issues regarding the prospective merger. George Riafe finds out if these moves are meant to scuttle the merger.
According to the Bank of Ghana, getting all the answers for these questions would influence decision to approve or not to approve this marriage. Osei Jesse is head of banking supervision at the Bank of Ghana.
They need to come back to us. They haven't done a good job on what they are seeking. What we are saying is that they have brought the application, we have looked at the application, we have responded, and it is up to them to come back to us.
So if they meet your requirements, the BOG's requirement, you will grant your request?
Why not? We are in for measures, but they will have to meet our requirement, and we have to assure ourselves that everything is on course.
Jesse also explains to Joy Business the basis for this projection that 18 commercial banks will meet the new capital levels by December this year.
We are looking at the income surplus of the bank. We are looking at the capital position of the bank. If they capitalize, what is going to be the situation? Some of them are just going through the processes, AGM and all those things, and get the income surplus capitalized as part of their paid up capital. So putting all these together, we have about 15 or 16 banks that we are confident that they will be there, and we have about 2 state banks, ADB and NIB. And government has stakes in these 2 banks. So when they are also capitalized, they come on board.
Joy Business is also learning that another major application is before the regulator, which could again reduce the number of commercial banks in the country. CGC said they have also instituted measures to ensure that banks indeed bring in the real capital of 400 million Ghana cedis by the end of this year.
And we will take steps to verify all transactions thoroughly. We'll do our due diligence. Everything will be done.
There would be another set of capital requirement from next year as part of the Basel Framework requirement that will ensure that commercial banks up their capital again based on their risk.
In a bid to increase its market share, fast-moving consumables company Unilever has invested some amount of money to support up-and-coming music artists. The company is leveraging this strategy to introduce its new product known as Close-Up Deep Action onto the market. Head of Communications and Sustainability at the Unilever Ghana, Henry Herbert Mam, spoke on the sidelines of the Close-Up concert on the theme Break the Barrier. Here's more.
The Cool Breeze is part of Unilever's Close-Up toothpaste range. Having launched the brand, the company rolled out a music campaign that toured all parts of the country to connect with the youth, as well as to discover the best of upcoming music talents in the country. Henry Herbert Mam is head of communication and sustainability at Unilever Ghana.
Music is a youth thing, and this whole Cool Breeze business is about the youth, an opportunity for the youth to gain some confidence. So we're using the music, marrying music with the fact that we want people to break that barrier, show confidence in whatever they do. And we've gone around the country, selected 7 young talents that we're trying to give opportunity to, put them out there to perform, to give them the best. Whoever comes up gets an opportunity of lifetime, and Close-Up is ready to sponsor all that. Well, it's about awareness creation. It's about getting to know what Cool Breeze is all about. Getting people to really have the products that respond to their needs. 6
aspiring musicians from 6 different campuses were given the nod to exhibit their talent.
In my heart, I said, be there so far. That cool, what you go so foreign or local. Tycoon, ready to love in the Kaboka.
At the end, Lycon from the Volta region emerged overall winner of the concert.
There are a lot of guys dying with good talents. I think they should go and fetch. It's like when you are not in Accra, you can't make it. And it's like people have good talents down there. Volta, Northern region, Upper East, Upper West are listening to boys, and I think it's high time for corporates like to go down there and then fetch those talents and then nurture them so that they can pull out to the world.
The Close-Up Cool Breeze concert was on the theme Break the Barrier. Bismarck Ausa, Joy Business.
Young and budding SMEs and CEOs have been urged to prioritize good corporate governance structures to secure sustained growth and stability. The advice was given at the launch of the 2nd edition of Ghana SME and Young CEOs Summit. Chairman for the summit, who is also executive chairman of McDan Group, Dr. Daniel Macaulay, called for discipline by SMEs and young CEOs. There's more in this report.
The launch of the second edition of the Ghana SME and Young CEOs Summit saw key CEOs advise entrepreneurs on best ways to survive the business world. According to the executive chairman of McDowell Group, Dr. Daniel Macaulay, most small and medium-scale enterprises are folding up fast, not because of the high cost of doing business, but rather the lack of good corporate governance and attitude towards work. Daniel Macaulay entreated SMEs and young entrepreneurs to prioritize their spending habits to survive the Ghanaian market.
Well, for me, it's not only about the high cost of doing business, the attitude. I always talk about that. Most SMEs don't start with the right attitude. Most SMEs don't focus in building systems and structures. I mean, these are the only things that can let your business drive to the next stage. If you don't focus, if you are not ready to build your system and structures, and you don't have the right attitude towards it, you cannot make it to the next stage.
CEO and founder of the Chief Executives Network, Ernest de Graft Ajur, said the summit aims to equip SMEs and young CEOs with the needed tools to penetrate the Ghanaian industry.
If you have a sector that indeed contributes over 70% of the country's GDP, and a sector that constitutes over 92% of operational businesses, and the corporate governance and leadership issues are not given attention, then how do these organizations scale up? Hence, the theme for the second Ghana SME CEO Summit.
The summit, which will be held in November, seeks to assemble various young and innovative business owners and entrepreneurs in the small and medium-scale enterprises to share ideas on growth and sustainability.
Cosmos Innovation Center Agritech Challenge finalist Farm Cure hopes to start an enterprise that helps farmers fight off insect pests. In this edition of KIC Profile, we tell you how the ladies of Farm Cure are leading a team of 4 young entrepreneurs to deliver a project they consider exceptional.
It's not just a one-time, oh, what do you do? What you have to be going there consistently. So you have to find.
As the team lead, Nella has an oversight responsibility of ensuring her team members are performing their duties.
I'm in charge of making sure everything comes together. Now, I do a bit of everyone's work, and I mostly major in making sure that our business model is intact, making sure that anything relating to our business is intact. By the end of the day, if there's a fault, it's my problem.
I'm the product lead. Do I handle the creation of the prototypes, knowledge about the prototypes, and the products basically?
I'm the IT and the communication lead. I basically take care of our website, the creation of our website, our social media platform. I'm virtually in control of it. And also, I also research for information related to what we are doing and make it available to the team.
I'm the marketing lead, so I'm in charge of putting our business ideas together, making sure that the product gets out there.
So Tina, you were saying something about the paper that now is waterproof.
It is a group that started with 3 members but went through a transformation that can only be described as interesting.
We started with 3, but we had to drop the person because they were not pulling in their weight. Now we went for Stephen because before the first pitch, he was also having problems with his teammates, but we saw how hard he was working and how passionate he was about the whole project. We picked him because we looked at how he was working with his old team and the direction he was taking them, and we are like, wow, if we include him in our team, this is what he could bring.
Well, this is the first time I'm getting to know why they selected me. As she said, I was part of a team, but unfortunately we were evicted in the second pitch. So I was just there, relaxing from the KIC pressure. Then one Sunday evening, she called, and Nesina calls me and it was like, what's your background? I want you to join us. I was like, wow. I said, wow, like how many times?
Yeah.
I said, like, wow, like 5 times.
He knew that I was going to call.
I had a feeling Farm Cure was going to call.
Yeah.
2 to 10 per acre, depending.
With a background in agricultural science and business administration, The two ladies, Nela and Ernestina, steered this team into the finals, much to the admiration of the gentlemen who later joined the group.
I interacted with them a number of occasions, and I realized that they were not just, they were wise and intelligent. And I like to deal with people who think far.
Very hardworking. When she's on stage, they're on stage. It's like, I mean, forget about the word. I mean, they take the stage. So I admire them from afar.
Together, this team is offering a unique product that they say will help farmers fight insect pests.
FarmCure is seeking to bring up an environmentally friendly pest trap. We are just trying to reduce the amount of pesticides that the farmers spray.
Nela, Ernestina, Prince and Stephen agree that the Agritech Challenge is not for the faint-hearted, as they say their resolve has been tested so many times. But being part of the challenge has been an enlightening journey.
I really like the capacity building that Cosmos organized for us. It was very, very insightful. I mean, you get to understand basic things such as, bookkeeping, how to how to gel within a team and the problems we were having, to itemize it and talk about it. It's very helpful.
I did agric in school, and I'm still going to do agric everywhere I go, and I feel they have helped me understand so many things that going forward in academia I still wouldn't have been able to know with regards to setting up a business in agric. So I believe it has been very important, every aspect of it.
This has given me hope in a lot of things and a lot of issues, and hope is what has actually kept me going.
I like doing things alone. Like every time someone asks us to do anything, before we added the two, if anything, I'll just be like, oh, don't worry, I'll do it, and then I'll bring it. But the competition and the capacity building and coming to meet with your team, it has helped me rely more on people and to trust them more. Yeah, there's something here.
Members of FarmCure believe they have a strong team and an even better agribusiness concept, one they are confident will attract investment when they pitch to judges of the Cosmos Innovation Center Agritech Challenge in October.
No, I'm on leave, so.
Congratulations to all the participating teams of the KIC. And that's it for Business Tonight. Many thanks for your company. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji Riafi. Have a good evening.
Government spokesperson on legal affairs has been invited by the police for questioning over alleged threats on the life of another government official. Herbert Krapah is said to have threatened the head of communications at the Energy Ministry, Nana Opong-Damwa. The threat is one of the fallouts of the revised AmeriPower deal, which has seen the sector minister being removed from office. East Legon District Police Commander Superintendent Cephas Arthur explains to Joy News the complainant cited Facebook messages between himself and the suspect, who is currently out of town.
At about 4:20 p.m. yesterday, one Nana Kofi Opong-Damwa, who said he is the PRO for the Ministry of Energy, called at a police station here to make a complaint that he's been issued with threats, and so he was seeking police assistance. In other words, he was lodging a complaint with the police to enable us investigate his allegation. So we took his complaint, and we have already commenced our own investigations. We were going to take his statement there and then, and he had to take the statement form so that you could submit it later. We are waiting for him. We have also tried to contact the suspect in this case, who is not within the shores of this country presently, and he has promised that when he returns, he will report to assist the police with investigation. His concern is that somebody has sent him text message issuing threats, and to him the threat, or the words of threats, The words of threats are as follows. I mean, and I'm paraphrasing, that if he doesn't stop peddling falsehood about somebody, there will be a showdown. If he doesn't stop peddling falsehood about somebody, there will be a showdown. And he deems it a threat on his life or something. So he thought it would be expedient to let the police know about it so that they investigate.
Well, it's just one of the many fallouts of the removal from office of the Energy Minister, Boakye Ejaku, who's now former Energy Minister. And he has been in office for approximately about a year and a half, and he went through about 4 hours of vetting. Let's get to go through the timeline of his stay in office right now, as we put it in graphical form. So the Ameri 510 Ameri deal was signed by the Mahama administration, the previous Mahama administration, and it has been always described as controversial. And in December 2015, it was a Norwegian newspaper that published an investigative piece claiming that that deal was overpriced and should have been worth just about $220 million. Now, when the NPP took over power, the Philip Addison Committee, they reviewed it and they concluded that it probably was overpriced by about $150 million, because they estimated that $360 million should just have been a fair price. In July 2017, the police CID went into the homes of former Power Minister Kwabena Donkor and his Deputy John Jinapor and a number of others. And then on July 24, Energy Minister Boakye Ejaku, he laid before Parliament a reviewed Ameri deal, and he was seeking approval for that, which was supposed to be an improvement on the previous or the original one. Under that new deal, a new firm from Greece, Miscellaneous Trading Company, was to take over the plant from Ameri, and they were to own it for about 15 years instead of the original 5 years agreed with Ameri. So the now former Energy Minister, he claimed that the deal was going to save Ghana $400 million. That claim is being disputed by the staff of VRA, who held a news conference yesterday. Now, the Africa Center for Energy Policy, they've also disputed the claim, and they're saying that the deal would actually cost the taxpayer close to $1 billion. Parliament froze approval processes for the deal and demanded additional documents, and that was just before the House rose. Now, the minority in Parliament addressed a media briefing asking Ghanaians to hold President Akufo personally liable for the bad deal. In a final push, staff of Power Generator, as I indicated earlier, they, led by the Senior Staff Association, they called for the minister's head. Well, it didn't take too long after their call for the minister's head for the president to act, and when he acted, he decided that the energy minister should be relieved of his duties. Now, the pressure, it paid off, really, because the president, suggesting that he had been misled, he sacked the energy minister. And this was despite the fact that the energy minister, or the president, admits that he granted executive approval to the agreement. Now, Member of Parliament for Boga Central, Isaac Adongo, he says former Energy Minister Boakye Ejaku has been used as a scapegoat to cover up for the rot in the Kufuor-led government.
Agreement way figures no be I share a kama based on that trust no what me assign a man is approval no, and they say 10 hours and that person should be held responsible.
Say obi can be sachiro e wa ban mu.
Saying
nkomo ya wo kan say e bia ye de bibi president na document ne ye bulk into wantimi anwem ye ana trust obi nti o sign ye what no wan ho e sa share mu wan ne kan obi can be sa wa ban mu.
But based on dates now, also work say idea we na chrono on the figures.
Because Parliament and say figures no don't make sense.
Parliament bang.
Parliament of Ghana. One to see rejected. And now
say among fast document how can one say me Emra.
There were issues of even figures. Now yeah, idea be your free. in the next 2 years.
Yes.
Now we say betua up to 1.3 and no person e issue sign na beka chose we ye bokro. Me am akwakoto me car. Tio makwakoto me car. Car no me to no lease. Na emum lease na me ye no. Wona me da media no se mba mbetre ma car ndem ko. Driver obeka car wona otua ne car. Fuel ebeko car nim wona otua. So what must you?
Yes.
Maintenance eba car no na wona otua. Busumi so a me wasika poli amede to hama. Busumi num afi num achi no metua we maje me car okọ baby.
Now, the minority in Parliament is demanding the President Akufo-Addo actually sacks his Executive Secretary Nana Santi-Bediatu over the controversial reviewed Ameri-Power deal that has led to the firing of the Energy Minister Bache Jaku. They also want the police to institute a criminal probe into processes leading to the review.
The moment the Ministry of Energy presented the contract to the presidency, the document ceased to be a property of the Ministry of Energy. It was not the property of the Ministry of the presidency. And so whatever came out of that was going to be the handiwork of the presidency. So if from the presidency they brought this document to us and within a few hours we were able to detect that there were serious anomalies with this contract, and the fact that Ghanaians were going to be ready if it was approved of this, it tells us that the presidency, and for that matter, Nana Santi-Bediatu and whoever is associated with that, is as guilty as the Minister for Energy, and therefore they should also.
For you, particularly at the presidency, was it a case of incompetence? Was it a case of someone being part and party to an alleged corrupt deal? What could have led to them overlooking the errors that you found eventually in Parliament?
You see, for me, based on what I realized, I think that this whole charade of rumors that the presidency felt that they were misled is just a cover-up. And I'll explain to you why. What is it that the presidency, what information is it that the presidency didn't have on the basis of that they took the decision to give the executive approval? If the presidency says they were misled, is it that they didn't see the contract that was given to them? Is it that they didn't see the memorandum that accompanied it? So on what basis were they misled? So it means.
But Vice Chair of the Mines and Energy Committee in Parliament, George Juka, says the minority does not have the moral right to make such demands.
The NDC, and for that matter, the minority, is only trying to create a storm in a teacup. I don't know why they are doing that, but I believe they are taking the leniency of the president to his weakness, because the president has done enough to prove to the people of Ghana that indeed he is in to protect the purse of this nation. After all, we've had an instance where an agreement has been signed. We complained when we were in opposition. What they had to do was to go to Kumasi and play Yentiobia music. What the president has done, it is very simple. The backstop at the ministry and the minister in charge has been asked to step aside, and that is what the president has done. And I want to put it on record that no agreement has been signed as of now, and no agreement was finalized.
Did you not receive the executive approval?
But did the executive approval, in any way, tell us that it is a final or certified document? Does it make it a certified agreement? No. It was brought before Parliament, the committee, for that matter, to scrutinize, go through, and, fine-tune it. And that is what we did, just to tell the minister that you could have done that, you could have done that. The opinion of the Attorney General, tariff arrangement with PURE, these are comments we made. And it saddens my heart that the NDC is parading everywhere that if they had the right to the committee, would have taken Ghanaians for granted. No, the committee is chaired by the majority, of which I'm the vice chair. And we outnumber them at all times. And if we had the intent of shortchanging Ghanaians, we could have used our numbers.
There are still tension at the Swami Magazine in Kumasi as members of the Ghana Union of Traders Association took to the streets on Tuesday in a sustained bid to rid the local market of foreign retailers. It follows last week's suspected attack on Nigerian traders who had to seek refuge at the police station. Attempts by local police to get both parties to reach a truce failed as local spare parts dealers vowed to ensure the foreigners leave the retail market in accordance with the law. My colleague Nana Sensumensa, who has been following events at Swami Magazine, has more in the following report.
Over 70 protesters wearing red bands moved from shop to shop belonging to Nigerian traders. The Ghanaians indicate they have been recording higher sales in the short period shops of the foreigners have been closed.
We are acting by the Ghana Investment Promotion Act 2013 at 865. That's what we are acting upon. So many things. The categories are there. You know, for you to do trade in Ghana, petty trading, you're supposed to have $1 million. You're supposed to have $1 million. You have to employ 20 Ghanaians. The thing is there. It's stated categorically. We only want enforcement of the law. That's what we want.
They should follow it. If they follow the law,
that's what we want. Booming our business. It is booming our business in the sense that they are the suppliers. They supply to the shops, let's say 30 cedis per product, right? How do they expect us to sell it? Probably 35, 32 cedis. And if a mechanic works the same person, they sell it at the price that they do the distribution. And that is very wrong. In business sense, it doesn't make, you know, it's not sensible. It doesn't make sense at all. So if they want to do the normal supply, they should do it. We are 100% in support of that. They supply, they go away, right? Because per the law, this is a business, it's a petty trading for indigenous Ghanaians, and we are supposed to do with not them.
Yes.
We are supposed to do with not them. So, you know, unless something happens, it's going to be the same. We've not locked their shops, they are out. We've not locked their shops.
Yes.
We've not locked their shops.
They left their own shops.
Not on Nigerians, foreigners. Not on Nigerians, foreigners. Okay, foreigners.
The Nigerians say their shops remain closed because their lives are at stake.
This is my shop. It has been locked for the past 1 week and some, let's say 2 weeks going now. I don't know, the Ghanaians, they claim that I will spoil the market for them. And, you know, one thing everybody must have to know in business, everybody has a strategy. Meanwhile, there is no means Nigerian of theft cases, drugs and all this thing. And hereby they are chasing us helter-skelter like we are criminals. Although they have charges claiming that we spoil the market, we reduce the price and we bring our people more to dominate the market, making them not to sell. But it's not fair because let's start by saying that West Africa, there is a treaty which is a free trade zone. Whereas if you come to my country, you see a lot of Ghanaians, they are doing a lot of businesses. And there's nobody cares because we are all struggling to survive. It be money, be the end route. So we are here, we are civilized. Most of us have papers, we pay tax, and we even employ some Ghanaians in our office so that we'll be able to, you know, do business, to make money. So hence, now that they're chasing us, locking our store, we cannot be able to pay our salaries. Me, myself, for 2 weeks now, I've been spending the one I have saved, which is not fair. And I wonder why the government have not involved in this situation, because we are friends. Ghana, Nigeria, we are West Africa, let's start from there. And doings, we are blacks. So I wonder the discrimination or the you know, so somehow, I urge, you know, we need help.
Reporting for Joy News, Nana Asensumenza.
Doctors at the Kofanochi Teaching Hospital say a 7-year-old boy who is suffering from severe skin and mucous membrane disorder is responding to treatment. They say Emanuela Mayau's condition, known medically as Stevens-Johnson syndrome, could be a reaction to medication or an infection. The boy reportedly developed a condition which causes the skin to blister and peel off while on admission at the Kontombra Government Hospital in the Western Region. Head of the Pediatric Emergency Unit, Sylvain Justice, says Emmanuel, who had earlier been diagnosed of malaria, will need several weeks to recover. My colleague Ohiming Teria has more.
Condition diagnosis. His vision is also affected, with the lining in his mouth also affected. Unfortunately for him, doctors are unable to identify specific agents of the ailment, though they say he is stable and responding to treatment. Dr. Sylvain Justice says Emmanuel will stay a little longer at the hospital than anticipated.
In terms of the culprit agents, we've not been able to pinpoint what the culprit agent was. In actual, they even provide pictures. Since they, with this current technology, they provide pictures of how the disease evolved. This and we started initial lesions and that. So we're quite confident about the diagnosis that this is how it started and all this and So typically the disease will evolve about 2 to 4 weeks. So I would say 3 4 weeks. Yeah. If there's nothing coming in, so the patient will allow the disease to recover for the day. It's about a month plus. Yeah.
Komfo Hospital sees at least 6 children with Stevens-Johnson syndrome annually, though cost of treatment may differ from patient to patient. Cost of treatments takes a toll on families. Emmanuel's parents, for instance, had to resort to a loan to pay for their son's treatment.
The papa no onye adwuma o school and I miss me school. Ya ofo ya na omo hwe be ma na ofo ni ho.
We first went for a loan to pay for his treatment. It was not enough, so we had to go in for a second facility. It is sometimes difficult to raise money for drugs. We have no option but to resort to support from outside to save our son's life. Now, we have spent at least 370 Ghana cedis on drugs to improve mouth linings alone. We will have to pay double the amount we borrowed. It's really hard.
The strength of the medicine that we apply the drug on the skin, they end up running out of the drug that we need to rewrite them again. It's not like introduce a new drug. This is basically the same drugs the same applying to the skin that they keep on running out of that drug. We're not writing a lot of the same old drugs that we just 1 or 2 that we introduce, but otherwise 1 or 2 additional ones that we've introduced. Otherwise, the same old is about the end up running out of the drugs, especially for the exposed areas that we are giving something to prevent infection. The tubes available is quite small. The drugs are cheap, so if you buy only 1 tube, you squeeze it and it's almost finished. By the next day or so, a day or 2, you'll finish here.
From Komfo in Kumasi for Joy News, Ohiming Teria reporting.
Still in Kumasi, management of the Komfo Teaching Hospital says it will require an investment of 15 million euros to replace obsolete equipment at the facility. So medical equipment at the hospital have exceeded their recommended lifespan. Chief Executive of CATH, Dr. Oheneba Danso, says frequent servicing has rendered them less effective and is affecting healthcare delivery. Nanea Jima reports.
The accident and emergency unit of the hospital is the worst affected by the equipment deficit, which management says the hospital's finance cannot support. Equipment meant to last 5 years are almost a decade old but still in use. Dr. Oheneba Danso highlights the challenges.
Unfortunately, our financial returns are such that we are unable to do this retooling so timely, and that is our biggest challenge. So you realize that we have some equipments which have been replaced, especially when you go to the accident and emergency center, which was done about 9 years ago. It was programmed for almost all the equipment to have been replaced or for comprehensive repairs to have been taking place 5 years after the inauguration. But we are in the 9th year and we still have some of the old equipment that have been maintained to run for us. And the cost of maintenance is really very, very huge. So that's our challenge.
The hospital has consulted installers of the equipment at the accident and emergency unit to help solve the situation. Management is now scheduling a plan with the company to deal with the problem. Dr. Danso says the hospital will need government support to deal with the situation.
I've been in discussion with the Ministry of Health, and some of these projects actually come on board as capital investments, and they are most often centrally managed. So we are talking to the ministry to see how best will be, because the company is around and they have come to have discussions with us. But the projected cost of the replacement is very huge. It is something at some millions of euros. I cannot quote it immediately because they have actually teased it out in various stages. So what we have said to them is that even for the little that the hospital, through our own resources, will be able to do, they should actually give it to us in some phases for us to actually take some of these projects on board. But ultimately, the overall cost that is going into about 15 million euros is a lot of money. And we think that it is such investment that definitely we need central government to come to assist.
Ghana has made positive strides in eliminating one of the leading causes of blindness known as trachoma. The country becomes the first in sub-Saharan Africa to have achieved this feat 2 years ahead of the global target set to eliminate the public health threat. Addressing stakeholders at the National Validation of Trachoma Elimination by the World Health Organization in Accra, Minister of Health Kweku Agyeman-Manu charged stakeholders not to relent but be on the alert to prevent the incidence of new cases. Beryl Risch's report.
According to the World Health Organization, trachoma was identified in the 1950s as the most important leading cause of blindness in Ghana. By the 1990s, the disease was known to persist as a significant public health threat in the northern and upper west regions. In the year 2000, the National Trachoma Elimination Program was set up by the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service to tackle this public health threat. After almost 2 decades of implementing sustained control and elimination activities of the disease, the country has achieved its goal. At a national validation of trachoma elimination program, Minister of Health Kweku Agyeman-Manu tasked stakeholders in the health sector to sustain the strides made and prevent new cases.
This level of our achievement calls for jubilation and a pat on our backs. However, let's be cautious that we cannot afford to go to sleep, as one would naturally do after every success. We need to make conscious efforts to sustain the gains made, especially for environmental improvement, which is very key in keeping the disease at bay. There is the need for continual awareness creation, sensitization, and education on sanitation and good hygiene.
Some institutions instrumental in the elimination were honored. Beryl Ernestina Richt's report for Joy News.
Well, the health minister in an interview with Joy News on the sidelines of the ceremony disclosed that the mother and child unit of the University of Ghana Medical Center will be operational by mid-August 2018.
I'm expecting by the middle of August, we will have opened the mother and child clinic, and we'll go on opening other specialties. We are recruiting people now. We have advertised for the top management to come in. There are a lot of things that we are doing.
The Wa municipality has recorded 8 maternal deaths in the last 6 months. The same number of women lost their lives same period last year, a situation the Wa Municipal Director of the Ghana Health Service expresses concern about. Basilia Salia has therefore asked the management of health institutions in the region to look into causes of death and take appropriate action to forestall future occurrence. She made the statement at the mid-year performance review of the Wa Municipal Health Directorate. Joy News' Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
Health performance reviews done by the various health directorates in the country is to take stock of the achievements, challenges, with a view to finding solutions to the latter. The Wa Municipal Health Directorate is no exception. Major stakeholders in the health sector, comprising health workers, midwives, civil society organizations, took part in the day's mid-year review meeting. One municipal health director of the Ghana Health Service, Basilia Salia, highlighted the major successes chalked during the past 6 months without the required funding for the programs.
We've done our best because looking at our disease control, we've attained the coverage for the half year and exceeded. If we are computing percentages, we have exceeded the percentage for the half year, except TT2, that is when the pregnant women come for services, we give them the tetanus toxoid. That's the only area we didn't attain the coverage for immunization.
However, the issue of maternal deaths rears its ugly head again as 8 women lost their lives through childbirth. The same number of women lost their lives same period last year. Madame Basilia is not happy with the situation and tasked the municipal health management team to do a quick appraisal to find out where the deaths came from.
Though we haven't recorded at our facility and we haven't recorded any community death, the regional hospital has recorded people coming from the municipality up to 8 people. So we lost 8 mothers in the municipality at the regional hospital. It is unfortunate.
A similar event took place at Wuchao, capital of the Wawes district. Acting Wawes district director of the Ghana Health Service, Clifford Veng, threw more light on the programs embarked on by his outfit during the last 6 months.
We again increased institutional skill delivery from 24.1% to 25.4% in 2018, as again the target of 60% for the half year. The reason still remains the fact that there are 13 midwives deployed to CHIPS compound. Also, midwives are keeping watch on pregnant women and prompting volunteers and chiefs to bring them to the facility when in labor.
He was, however, not happy with the staff situation as the district lacked critical staff to attend to patients in the 40 health facilities across the district. Reporting for Dwayne News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
And that's it for the bulletin. My name is Sujolai. Thank you very much for watching. You have a good night. You probably may have some chicken or fowl for dinner. Good night.
This is Joy News Prime.